The title "A Thousand Splendid Suns" was taken from a line from the poem written by Said-e-Tabrizi. He was a 17th century Persian poet. Part of this poem goes, "One could not count the moons that shimmer on her roofs, or the thousand splendid suns that hide behind her walls." In his poem, he uses the phrase "a thousand splendid suns" to portray the beauty of Afghanistan and its culture. However, the title is highly misleading and a bit ironic given the amount of destruction and poverty depicted in the novel, such as the brutality of the Taliban, as well as the marginalization and abuse of women. Rather than the literal beauty of Afghanistan, this title may be referring to the relationship between the two main characters, Miriam and Lila. Although their relationship starts out on a rocky foot, it develops into one that is built on love and sacrifices to protect one another. Metaphorically, they are each other's splendid sons. They are always there for each other, no matter the situation or consequence. Hosseini created these two characters of two diverse natures that connect because of their differences. As a young girl, Miriam was desperate to be loved by her mother. Her mother was always spiteful towards Miriam, calling her a harami, or an illegitimate child, that ruined her life. Essentially, Miriam and her mother were cast away from society to make sure her father's reputation would not be hindered. She would see her father, Jalil, once a week and would crave his presence and affection when the weekly visitations were over. After the death of her mother, Jalil arranged for Miriam to marry Rashid, a man almost 30 years her senior. After being unable to bear a child, Rashid becomes more and more abusive and resentful towards Miriam. By the time Miriam is in her late 20s, Rashid brings home Lila, a girl that is only a teenager, and asks her to also be his second wife. She agrees only to protect the baby that she conceived with her childhood best friend Tariq. Miriam immediately takes a disliking to Lila, most likely due to Rashid's immediate kindness towards her. Lila, being the overly optimistic and bright character that she is, eventually is able to get Miriam to warm up to her. There is a short passage in which the shift in their relationship is very clearly defined. It also happens to be my favorite part of the book. It goes, quote, "They sat on folding chairs outside and ate halwa with their fingers from a common bowl. They had a second cup, and when Lila asked her if she wanted a third, Miriam said she did. As the gunfire cracked in the hills, they watched the clouds slide over the moon and the last of the season's fireflies, charting bright yellow arcs in the dark. And when Aziza woke up, crying, and Rashid yelled for Lila to come up and shut her up, a look passed between Lila and Miriam, an unguarded, knowing look. And in this fleeting, wordless exchange with Miriam, Lila knew that they were not enemies any longer. This may or may not have been due to her lack of being wanted as a child, but Miriam is very quick to open herself up to Lila. Over the course of the second half of the book, Lila stands up for Miriam when subject to Rashid's abuse and takes the hits for her. Miriam is able to see for herself the unwavering loyalty that lies within Lila. As the war in Kabul progressively gets worse, so does Rashid's unwarranted anger and abuse, almost serving as a parallel. In the climax of the story, Rashid is on the cusp of strangling Lila to death when Miriam grabs a shovel and kills him, saving Lila's life. Hosseini has incorporated themes of love, trust, and sacrifice to enhance and intensify their relationship. The structure of their relationship strengthens with each hardship that comes their way. Going back to the part of the poem I mentioned earlier, quote, "One could not count the moons that shimmer on her roofs, or the thousand splendid suns that hide behind her walls." The thousand splendid suns not only represent Miriam and Lila, but all the other Miriams and Lilas of Kabul and their immense strength that was hidden from the world, but nonetheless providing vital life and warmth to Afghan society.